Today's guest is a South Jersey native who started DJing at 15 years old, going from being a roadie at weddings to one of the most sought-after wedding and event DJs in the country. He curates wedding crates for the popular streaming service BeatSource and racked up over 1 billion, that's with a B, billion plays across all platforms. Along with millions of followers on social media, ladies and gentlemen, welcome on Mr. Nick Spinelli. Nick, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Trying to get my inner Jason Kelsey out there.
Which a mean intro right there.
I like it.
Make me blush.
I like it. I dig. So, generally, before I even asked the question, I did some homework. I did some background, checking out other things. And one thing I could not believe that nobody has asked you yet is Spinelli is the real name. This is not a stage name.
Nope. Real name. Real life.
So we have followers we are crushing on social media, and you're a known DJ, and your real name has Spin in it. I just couldn't believe no one's asked. No one's seen it. I'm like, this can't be real. I got to start right there.
Yeah, it works out. Well, I've had people come up to me like just in person.
Random.
Just be like,
Okay.
Is that your real name? Like, because it sounds like a stage name, but it works out. You know what it means to smoke weed in Italian?
Stop.
Yeah. Look it up.
I like it.
It's a slang, but still, it's one of the words they say. Spinelli, you know.
I'm a fan.
Smoke a joint.
I dig it.
Okay.
I literally looked up the wife to see if there was Spinelli on the name on Facebook because I was like, there's no way this is real. So let's get into it. We want to know the background story. I always try to get listeners to know the person, the guest, about themselves. You started at 15 as a roadie. Give us a little insight of how you got to today from where you started.
Oof, that's a long road. I don't know. I mean,
The cliff notes, we will.
you know, yeah, I got into it. You know, I didn't want to be a DJ. I just needed extra money. So, like, you know, dude offered me $10 an hour to help, you know, just be a roadie for weddings. And back then, minimum wage was $5, so it was double. He gave me extra hours to set up, so I was making $60 cash a day. I was like, woo, I'm taking that
large.
Yeah, and I bought an Xbox, and that was it. And I got into it. You know what I mean? I was in a band previously. I played drums and stuff. So, like, you know, I was into music, but like the band ended up not working out, and DJing kind of replaced that. So then I kind of went with it. So it happened quick though, because I mean, I started when I was 15. I just turned 15, and then by the time I was 16, I was DJing Sweet 16s. So my mom would drop me off at gigs. You know what I mean? Shit like that.
If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
36.
Okay, I'm 41. I got 5 years on you. Some girl when I was 16 threw something together and asked me to do something, and I had an old mixer with 2 Discmen and did a Sweet 16, and they thought I was the coolest thing ever. And I was like, this is awesome. But I never went anywhere again with it until post-college aspect of never thought I would be doing anything in this stuff. But same thing, 15, 16, I was just like, this is so cool.
Oh, yeah. I loved it. Same thing. CDs.
Right. Like CDs, like, and
burning them.
So real quick, my dad was a DJ in the 80s. Never thought I was going to do it. Never was in this business, nothing. But he is the legit OG that loves to just talk shit and be like, you don't even know them crates and blah, blah, blah. And this is when I had CDs, and now he's like, now you don't even need the sleeves. It's just a laptop. So like,
but they had things better. Like back then you could just get wasted and rip darts at the booth.
Oh my God.
No matter where you were at, you know, weddings just.
It's so funny you say this because I literally just talked to him yesterday, and I've never had this conversation. And he was like, I asked him, like, you know, like, how old were you? Like, what was the first thing you did? And he said something called the like Whistling Whale or something. It was Port Richmond. And he was like, you know, I went to get paid at the end of the night. And the guy was like, are you kidding me, bro? And he's like, what? He was like, you and your boys drank so much beer that I cannot afford to pay you anything. And I was like, yeah, it sounds about right back then. I'm guessing this is like 1980, give or take. So a different world back then. Oh. And you could also drink an 18 over there in Jersey when my dad was.
Oh, because it was grandfathered in. It was like they did it for a couple of years, right? In the late 70s, I think.
So
yeah, that's
still
wild.
Over there in the 80s. So early days, roadie in the weddings. Were we always in? I mean, I know you have some nightlife aspect, but was it in the nightlife and then come back in the weddings, or you've always just been weddings the whole time?
Weddings the whole time. Weddings was my base, but no one would, because I was a wedding DJ and I came up as one, no one would book me at a bar or a club. I didn't get any opportunity. Not until college. I started dibber dabbering with bars and then like a couple clubs downtown Harrisburg. I went to school in Central PA,
Okay.
and that was like my first experience of it. But like, yeah, no one would even. I reached out. I tried to meet no one. I was a wedding guy, so
It's so crazy how the tables have turned. And
yeah.
again, post COVID and whatnot, but like before it was like, oh, you were a wedding DJ and not the club guys. And now the club guys are coming over kind of thing. So it's definitely a different world now.
It is insane.
So let me ask, at what point did you realize this isn't a hobby? This is, it for you kind of thing.
I don't know. I mean, it was tough because, I really liked it, but everyone around me, including like, my dad, everything like, yo, you got to go get a real job. Like, what are you doing here? You know what I mean? Like, this isn't, what are you going to play songs for a living? Like, go into the military, get a career. So I went to college and, to try and like make something of myself. And I'm being honest, like I was always going to, like my plan through that was like, I was always going to be a DJ on the side, but like I was going to find a career. I was getting my business degree. At one point I was thinking maybe I could be a state trooper and all that. And, I don't think I've ever said this like publicly, but what really happened, what really changed the trajectory of my life. And it's funny how like, the worst shit ends up being like a blessing in disguise, right?
Sure.
It's a perfect example. So when I was 21, I got a DUI and it was in Jersey or whatever. And then like, I dealt with all that and I was living in PA at college at the time or whatever. Right. So I got through that. That sucked, whatever. Got it out of my system.
Sure.
Years later, I graduate college. And then I look and I'm like, I can't be a state trooper because I had a DUI at the time. It was too soon. I was like, damn, that's over. So then I used to sell cars too or whatever. So I was like, all right, well, maybe I'll get like a corporate job at CarMax. Because CarMax pays a salary, it's more, and then I can work my way up the ranks right there. I was good at it or whatever. Like I sold cars off and on.
And it's a real job to dad.
Correct. I applied to CarMax, had a great interview, went through the entire process, was pretty much hired. And they're like, oh God, you have a DUI. We can't get you covered with insurance. So then I was sitting there, I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? Like I was bartending. I worked at Guitar Center part-time to get a discount on the equipment. And that was it. And I was sitting and I was still doing bars and shit and a handful of weddings. I was like, what the fuck am I going to do? And then I talked to the guy I was working for down in South Jersey at the time. Like I was just doing a handful of weddings a year. And I was like, yeah, I'm done college, whatever. I'm just, he's like, oh, why don't you come full time? And, you could do sales for us. I could pay you a salary doing sales. And then, you can book yourself and do weddings full time or whatever. So that was like my kind of like, and that's when I moved back to Jersey and then I became a full time wedding DJ. That was January 1st, 2015. And then I've been full time ever since then.
And that is or is not with SE at this point?
No. So that was
before that. Okay.
Yeah. So that was before that. You know what I mean? So I did the sales for the company and, and I jumped up, full time 80, 90, 100 weddings a year ripping. And then,
crazy.
And then I really, and then after that, I never looked back,
How many are we doing a year today?
I think I did 55 this year.
You said 100. I'm like, it's just so.
It's just
I don't
like
think people realize how. 50 is a lot. I don't think people realize. So 100 is, there's 3 months of the year where you're doing the absolute minimum. So putting them into really 6 of the 12 months, it
depends. I think this is my sweet spot. I mean, I don't mind. I could do 70, 75, but like I had a year, I think it was 2021 or 2022 after the pandemic with all like the reschedules and all that.
Right.
And they were taking like the weekdays to reschedule, if you remember, right?
4 a week. Yeah.
That year, I think I did 111 or something, 112. Like by December, by the end of the year, I'm just like, you know what? I hope they break up. I can't stand love. I hate the shit. Like, I fucking hate so like I can't wear, if I do too much, I like a variety, you know what I mean? If I could do 55, 60 weddings a year and then fill the rest in with other stuff, I'm happy.
Sure.
I got a good variety. I love weddings. I truly love it. But like if you do anything that much where it's like I averaged almost like a wedding every 3-4 days, like I started hate. I was like, I could never again. So then I cut back after that. You know what I mean? Like it's just, yeah. If it wasn't for the DUI, I would probably be a state trooper.
That's wild.
And I would have just DJ'd on the side, and I would still would have been. I feel like I would still, everything would be great. It's not like it, but like it just. That's what happened. I just literally all the plans I had in place, that DUI, and I realized at the time it was just later on. I was like, oh fuck, I just had it like a, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, that's it, and it just never again.
Yeah, it's wild. It's like the meme you see that's like, I read all that motivational stuff, but it's like, when you realize that like you were handed the things that you were asking for, but just in a different aspect of things. And,
and then it all just came together. It's insane.
So let's get to all the views, the recordings, the videos, the content. I love the word content. Was it by accident? Did you wake up one day and say, I'm going to be a TikTok influencer, if you will. And before you answer this, I think it's so ironic that I'm one of them people that look at my Facebook memories every single day.
Yeah.
Do you ever look at them? No.
Never look.
I like looking at like what I wrote 15 years ago
Okay.
to see like growth and stuff. But today, 5 years ago, 2020, I said we're really going to need to get this shit back open for weddings, or if not, I decided I'm going to become a TikTok influencer, and you guys don't want this. And I'm like, now I'm putting my face on TikTok for these content videos every day. So it's wild. But did you go into it like, I'm just going to do this and I'm going to set out, or did you have one video that went viral and say like, fuck it, I'm running with it?
I did. I mean, anybody that says that they don't do it to try and like go viral and like get followed, whatever, is lying your face. I mean, obviously that was the whole goal, but like it was kind of I mean, I started the YouTube channel years ago and I like really worked hard at that. And that's been a slow growth even now, like even till like I've never gone viral on YouTube. Like I've had a couple 100,000 something videos, 300,000, but like a handful, that's it. Like I've never truly gone viral. Like it's literally just been like an organic, just hammering away one video at a time growth on my YouTube, you know, and it's like, it's rewarding that way. I like it. You know, it's been that steady grind. I never really focused on the other stuff. I would post pictures or whatever and like, you know, occasional videos and stuff, but I didn't really like know what to do with Instagram, you know, short form content, just Instagram reels and TikToks and all that. I didn't know what to do. And then, DJ City hit me up and they said, hey, like we would love to feature on our YouTube page, a vlog of one of your weddings. I had a broken leg at the time too, which is kind of hilarious. And so I was on like a scooter or whatever. It was in the wintertime. I was like, oh, great. This could help like build a YouTube. This would be cool. So then I bring a bunch of cameras to this wedding and I film me DJing the wedding or whatever. And while we're doing the vlogger and whatnot, I had like 2 cameras, I think, just set up, just steady, set, you know, just doing the whole thing. And that was it. My assistant, Santi, was like, hey, man, I brought my camera. Like, you want me to get some shots on that? And I remember thinking back in my head, like, not really. I mean, I don't know. That's going to be harder to edit later. But I mean, yeah, you know what? Yeah, grab some shots. Who cares? Whatever.
Sure.
All right, cool. He ends up getting a different perspective, like the perspective we kind of like pioneered of like me transitioning, right? So he was getting it in longer form for the actual vlog. We weren't thinking about TikTok at the time.
Right.
But later on, so I'm going through the footage or whatever, and I realized that like, you know, I had some transitions in there that like looked kind of cool. And I was like, why don't I just try posting this on TikTok? You know, I had this, you know, so I did one video on TikTok and it came from his camera. So like, that's the only way I got that angle. So if he never did that.
Shout out to Santi. Better get
Santi.
Give him his recognition.
That's right. And so I posted one video on TikTok and Instagram. It did okay. Just regular. And that was it. And I was all right, well, I'll do one more. And I did the second one and it got 36 million views on TikTok. Right. And it was the craziest thing. I've never had anything go viral before. So like, I remember like my wife, I'm like at home, my fiance at the time, and I'm like, holy shit, look, I'm about to hit 1 million views. Like it just all of a sudden, like on TikTok specifically, it just went from like, I had a regular ass TikTok with 150 followers, wherever I had, maybe I had 1,000 or something. I don't know. And then all of a sudden the notifications just went from like one, like every hour to like just now, like as long as you could see, like on the phone, just all just nows. And I was like, what's going on? And I was like, oh my God, 30,000 views, 50,000. And then it hit 1 million. I was like, holy shit, like we cracked the bottle. We fucking celebrated. I'm like, I'm on viral, right? And then it just kept going. And in 2 days, 30 something million views.
2 days and 30 million 2 days?
Insane. Yeah, it was insane. And I was like, holy shit. And then I realized, I was like, okay, what was this video? It was me doing a transition, going from one song to another. I got a really good audience reaction. Like this one girl was like that. It was like a, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, I do this every weekend. I have tons of word plays I do. I just never post them. I didn't want nobody to beat my shit. I didn't want anybody to like take my word plays or steal them. And I just swallowed all that. I'm like, you know what? Chris Vere reminded me of something back in the day with Jazzy Jeff. He always said, like, you know, you want to die empty as an artist. You want to put everything out there.
You don't want
to just fucking grave. Yeah. If you hold everything in and then you don't put anything out there, everyone's gonna forget about everything you did. You know what I mean? Like now I'm recording everything. You know, so I fed into that. So and I was lucky enough, like, to go viral with something that like I can reproduce over and over again. You know, a lot of people go viral with a trend. But how do you recreate that trend? You know, you got that one viral video and that's it. Like, you know what I mean? Like I went viral doing what I do for a living. And then so I just hammered that and I would post like 3-4 a week at least and get them every weekend and had so many ideas I've never posted, obviously. And that was it. And then
it's amazing.
It.
I can feel so strongly about your description because we've been doing this 3 months and we got one on, well, not 36 mil, but like when it was like 100K, 300K, 500K. And my girl, I'm like, babe, we're going to hit 1 million on this video. And we're at like 2.7. Now it's been like a couple weeks, 2.7, but I'm like jumping over joy 2.7 over
Isn't
a
it
couple
unreal?
weeks. Yeah, it's like crazy. So I'm just like, but like you said, now I'm like, but the thing is, the one that went viral for us to start, it was about having the officiant be in the aisle and the couple facing you. Nothing crazy about it.
Yeah.
Nothing out of the, that was it. But to go back to your point, it's like you said, how do you get another one? Because sometimes it's dumb luck, or we put something together that we think is going to hit and it does nothing. And then the next dumb one, we're like, oh, well, we just got to get content out there, put it out there. And that one gets us 500K. And I'm like, what? So,
well, look at content creation. That's how it works.
Facts.
All my masterpieces bomb. I'm like, oh, I hate the internet.
Right. It's the ones that you don't.
Yep.
That's so wild. But like you said, so you answered my question. I was going to ask, whether you grace yourself as this, but like in the DJ world, wordplay is like 2 words that they put with Nick Spinelli, at least I think. So when you said the first one, 36, that was a wordplay? First one?
Yeah, ironic. Unfortunately, it was the Party in the USA and the Miley that everybody does,
right?
Or Party in the USA and the Britney that everybody like. It's just one. I just happen to I do that too or whatever. And
sure.
So yeah, so a lot of I feel like when I first went viral for that, a lot of DJs rolled their eyes and were just like, ugh, that one. Like, but then that was another thing too, because I knew that was a basic mix, and I realized that, but like I knew I had so many unique like original ideas that I was
just
like,
buried ready.
Really, I'm gonna show these DJs. I'll show everybody. I got so many, like I do them every what, like what I mean, like
yeah.
And then I went.
So does that change? Like you just said, you got some in the clip waiting. Does that change how you go into weddings today as far as like maybe higher expectations of you? Or let me rephrase, do you put any more pressure on yourself today than you did at a wedding 10 years ago?
I try and look at it the same way, but I will say that almost every wedding I do, there's very high expectations. I'm not cheap, but at the same time too, like, there, a lot of times it's like, members of the bridal party, obviously bride and groom, or like just people that because they'll hey, we got Nick, oh my god, I already follow him, whatever. So like I
the bars
at first you go to the weddings, like the first year I went viral, I'll go to these weddings like, oh my god, yeah, I know you from whatever, man, it's gonna be crazy tonight. In the back of my head I'm like, I hope I don't suck, I hope it's not a rough crowd, I hope there's not like something, you know what I mean?
And that like, can be nothing to do with you is the worst part about it.
Sure, there's things out of control.
Exactly.
I'm the one up there, you know what I mean? And it's like, so there is that added, but I've gotten used to it over the last couple of years. Like I just put my head down and mix. That's it,
I mean,
like what am I gonna do? Worry about it? I'm gonna do the best I can. And I mean, I it's all I can do.
I dig it. People know you as this high energy persona. What's something people don't know about Nick Spinelli?
I collect Pokemon cards.
Okay.
I fucking love Pokemon cards.
Like go to shows? Like, there's just like,
nah, but I got an eBay and I'll rip packs and then I
get
upgraded
stuff?
Nah, I should.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like you have a brand.
No, I just don't have a plan. I thought about it a million times. Like it's like I was like, do I start another YouTube channel and just do this on the side? But it's just like I gotta focus on this still. Like I'm not ready to like do a separate thing, and I can't mix the two. You know what I mean? I can't like muddy my niche.
This is a random question. That's not something I thought about. But like, do you have a time in your head? Do you have a number in your head? Like I'm doing this till X.
Doing what?
Like DJing weddings.
I'm gonna there's definitely I don't have a number, but I feel like there's definitely a shelf life in what we do. Like it's basically like you'll know. Like I feel like when I start really getting cranky every weekend, like, oh, the music sucks.
And the way you felt at the end of 2021, if you will.
When I get grumpy, yeah, like
yeah.
that's probably when I'm gonna start, my exit plan and go off into the sunset, I don't know though. I don't know the number. I mean, it depends how I age, I feel like too. Like if I don't have a lot of gray hair yet or nothing, if I start taking a turn for the worse in 45, I'm looking, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, like I don't know. And if I have the means to do so, you know what I mean? I mean,
it's a passion. It's that simple. As long as
I think I'll always DJ, you know what I mean? But like, I'm not going to do the volume I do forever. You know what I mean? I'm not going to like I want to get to the point where I can just do select stuff and that's it. And I always want to be within my wheelhouse. Now my whole career, I've never taken any, well, no, that's not true. First 10 years you do that, but like,
too sure.
you get to a point like I don't take anything outside of my wheelhouse. If I don't think I can do a great job, then like I'm not taking it. You know what I mean? If the wedding sounds like a complete hoedown, like I know country, but I can't do a full hoedown, then it's like, all right, I'm be honest with you. I know some other DJs that'll be better. Like
You took me into my next question, so that was perfect. Like, you have these consults essentially with people. Like, you literally answered the question. Like, there are some people or some vibes that they describe to you that you just say like, that's just not your thing, or you just don't think you're the right fit for them,
yeah.
and just
Just honest with them, like, you know what I mean? Like, every wedding's a Super Bowl. I want you to have the best wedding ever. This is out of my wheelhouse. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know a lot about it. Sometimes they come back, well, no, we just want a little bit of this. That's all. And like, we'll give you the music ahead of time. It could be an ethnic thing. You know what I mean? It could be,
sure.
Something like an Arabic wedding, but they want a lot of, it's like, I'm not that familiar with it. I know a couple Arabic DJs though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you want to do? And, sometimes they're like, no. And then that way they do have they have the right expectations too. If you yes clients to death, then you're setting yourself up for a disaster. Their perception is going to be like, well, I thought you had this. So I thought what's going on? It's like, no, I didn't really, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just completely honest. That way, like when I go to do a wedding, I know that I can succeed all day. Nothing's going to get in my way. I'm not going to be stressing about this or like, oh, I don't know you know what I mean?
So one of my favorite questions, how do we feel about TikTok's trends today? Are you here for them? Do you like them? Do you hate them? And is it, coexist with timeless stuff, or thoughts?
I mean, generally speaking, I love like, playing different stuff and playing something new that I haven't, or bringing something back I haven't played in a while. If I play the same stuff, it gets boring or whatever. So like, I'm always down for something new. But like, I'm familiar with a lot of them, but like, I don't force trends. Like, it would have to be like the couple requested it and then I'll do it. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to, like, to me, like using a song that's trending online and just like play it at a wedding, like raw, just like no one asked for it. I think that's risking it for the biscuit.
Sure.
So like, I would only like mess around with trends really like out, like at bars and clubs, and I'm kind of trying out and see if it works. And if it works crazy at a bar or club,
Then
maybe
sprinkle ideas.
Maybe I'd sprinkle it, but like I just like I follow my couple's lead with what they want. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. So I'm not like, I don't do a lot of trends like that. You know what I mean?
I think I need to ask, are you seeing a lot of your brides? Like, we did a wedding recently where they said like, and like, this is kind of strange, they only we want all the current TikTok songs mixed in with our dance mix, which I just thought was a little strange.
I've never
but
seen
like
that.
Nothing like that. Okay.
No, I've never seen that once. That's wild.
One song that you have to have at every wedding.
Have to have, I mean.
Or is there one?
There's not really one. I mean, one song I like to play every once in a while.
All right, we'll take this.
That. I think YMCA is a bang.
Oh my God.
I think that shit's a bang. Like if it's on the playlist, it's guaranteed getting played. It pops the room, bro, every time, and then I get out of it. Like I'll mix like something else out of it. You know what I mean? Like I change the I don't go into disco after that. Like I go right it like into something.
I know Nine has an edit that we essentially play if it's on a playlist, and like people like it, and I'm always like like what? And then sometimes it works. I'm just like, I hate that it works. I don't know why I hate it.
It's trending it's trending now too, actually, because it's that whole when it reverbs out and it's like after the party's done, when real life kicks in, wherever that trend is or whatever.
Yeah, it's,
you know what I mean? So it's making it more relevant. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's a bang. It always works. Everybody does it, even if it's corny. It's just real quick. I'm in and out, and it's a great way to bridge into other stuff too. So I don't know.
That's fair. So, trying to get some stuff for the brides. You recently got married, 23?
23, yeah.
23. How is your experience different as the DJ going into the planning? And were you the planner? Was your wife the planner? As far as like big things for the wedding? Because I'm engaged. My fiance is going to be like, she would go to the courthouse, and I've been delaying our process as far as like, I'm going to have doves fly and it's going to be like crazy over the top. But
exact same thing. So like, I was the groomzilla. She would have just eloped in Vegas.
Yes.
She didn't care at all. You know what I mean? She, I'm trying to think what she picked. I mean, she helped, like, you know what I mean? Like opinion on decor and everything.
But I mean, this is your deal. Like, this is what you see every weekend. So it's like, how do you not want to have a bigger hand than maybe most guys do in a way?
Yeah. I definitely had opinions. I definitely had, certain things I wanted to do.
But did you go in differently? Or again, for the bride's aspect, what can we help them with? As what was my goal of these pods? Was there anything as the DJ in the business that you knew going in that you were maybe not spending a lot of money on versus what you are spending money on, or things that you were cutting out just that you've seen that, I always say expectations versus reality. It was a big thing on the pod, which is people have these visions or see TikTok boards or Pinterest boards, I should say. And then they come day of the wedding where it's like, that really wasn't what it was all out to be.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
All right, so there's a couple of things here.
Sure.
One thing I got from my weddings that I did at my wedding, and it literally works every single time, is having an hour and a half cocktail hour. Okay. Now, what we did is we structured it. There's a couple of venues up north that do this, where it's an hour and a half cocktail hour and a 3.5 hour reception. The extra half hour during the cocktail hour will always pay dividends. That gives it extra time where people have 2 drinks at cocktail hour. The partiers might have 3 drinks at cocktail hour. People are sexy walking into the ballroom after cocktail hour. It's just like a whole different vibe. So like an extra half hour for that cocktail hour is clutch.
Yeah.
Beyond that, I think a 3.5 hour reception is perfect. Like you just have a quick dinner and you have plenty of time to dance, but it's not too much time. When people extend their weddings that have like a 5 hour reception, it ends up being a 2.5, 3 hour straight dance set at the end. It's just, if you're not handing out drugs, it's too much. It's just too much.
And you want to end on that high note.
Exactly.
You don't want that.
Yep. Like I have to play it differently now. Now I have to like not go too hard, like only a little bit. And then like, cause I have to elongate the dance set. Like it's very like, it's tricky. In Europe, they do it like 8-10 hours. The European DJs always hit me up like, oh, our weddings are till 2 every night. I'm like, yeah, because you're all on drugs. Okay. Amsterdam. Or that's why. Or we don't do drugs at weddings. Or it's very rare. Like, you know what I mean? Very rare I see drugs at weddings. But, so that was a big thing. The hour and a half cocktail hour and that. Another thing too, hiring a planner to do decor and stuff. Like you can lean on the venue to do decor and everything, and they'll do like a nice job, and you could definitely save money that way. But if you have the means and you want to make a more unique experience, having a planner kind of design everything, like Shot the Plan Lush, they did my wedding, Tamara, and they handled like the decor, the flowers, everything. And that's actually kind of ironic because like I always said to myself, like these flowers are so much money.
Bro, it's where I'm going.
Doing the flowers.
I feel like flowers hate us on here.
Doing the flowers. That's the one thing you can cut out and save tons and tons of money. So like we'll get fake flowers, we'll figure it out or whatever. I did the flowers. I ended up doing the flag because like it was just so fire. Like we did marigolds. It was like in the fall time. It was just fire. And like flowers is the one thing. Yes, it's outrageous. I think I spent 18 grand on my flowers. Okay.
I get it. Okay.
And I've heard, but flowers is the one thing that sets everything apart. Again, if you have the means, it should be it doesn't like it should be one of the first things you cut if you're on a budget and you have big priorities. So if you obviously entertainment would be number one to me. I think like photographers are very important. I also think the venue itself and food, obviously all that. But like if you have the means, it literally takes your wedding to the next level. Like when I do like more high-end celebrity stuff or whatever, like the number one thing you notice when you go to a high-end wedding where they have the flowers are obnoxious.
When they don't have a budget,
when there's no budget, 100 grand worth of flowers is just like, oh, you're just walking in like you're oh, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just it literally takes everything to another level. So like until I had a wedding, I didn't understand flowers. Yeah. I get flowers now. Like I don't regret getting all those flowers, to be honest with you. And it was like that 18 grand's a lot for me, like for my budget. You know what I mean? Like
I love hearing you say it because listen, I try to be honest on the pod, and I'm now going to be everybody's cup of tea, but I'm like, oh, do we bring a flower? I'm like, I can't bring a flower store. And I always talk shit about cut the budget in the flowers. So it's kind of cool to hear you say that, especially from your end of this. So let's go back real quick. So one of our other clips that went off a little bit was, I also got to realize that I think everything's just tri-state. Like anyone that listens, just tri-state. And I'm honored to say that our following is, a little bit more expanded. And we've talked about, I thought I had this new idea and you just brought it up. And I thought that no one's ever done this and that we're going to start just not having dinner. It's just going to be a fire 90-minute cocktail with killer hors d'oeuvres. And when you go into the reception, it's going to be a couple tables for the parents, lounge furniture, and cocktail tables. And it's just a party and a vibe right afterwards. And all these people starts flooding our comments like, that's the norm in the South. We don't have dinner in New Orleans. And I'm just like, what? I'm like, so here, and I guess I'm like thinking that like the Northeast of the country is like the tits of, what weddings are. And I'm like, here I feel like we're in the Stone Age if we're still eating full sit down dinners in the area, and it's not as popular up here.
Nah, I don't know. I mean, I think we pioneer a lot of stuff. I think like where the Northeast is a
It should be
big wedding bubble, like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like the Midwest is way behind, the West Coast is way behind. I guess you could say the South, maybe they do some stuff like that, but like it also might be because their food sucks. I mean, let's be honest. We got the best food ever. You go to a cocktail hour in New Jersey, it's fire. You have like 15 tables, stations, everything you can imagine you can get. Fresh mutts, friggin' sushi, everything. You go just 100 miles west, 200 miles west
So
in
you're
the
not-
PA or in a Virginia, and all they got is like a cheese plate and some fruit, and then someone's bringing around like a Super Bowl appetizers. They're bringing in like pigs in a blanket, and I'm like,
Right.
this is terrible. Like, you know what I mean? No offense to anybody who has that, but like,
No,
there's big difference. You know what I mean? So I mean, I could see how the South, maybe they don't have as much food options or whatever, and they kind of, so they do more of a cocktail hour reception. I don't know. I still had like, we had stations.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to like rely on the venue, like even though like I thought they were a good venue, but like I didn't want to rely on them to serve like 2-3 courses. I said no, preset the salads, stations. Everybody goes through the stations. You eat what you like, you eat, and then I know for a fact nothing's gonna run behind. So like, because with a 3.5 hour reception, I wanted to make sure everything was super super on point because I didn't want it to end up being 45 minutes of dance again.
Sure.
And it worked out perfect. We ended up having a straight 2-hour dance set, you know. And then the one other thing about my wedding too, I'll say, and I did something that like a lot of couples have a hard time wrapping their mind around is like I didn't care about my crowd. I played the music that like we came into Simon Says by Pharoah Monch, the unedited version. So we had like old like Aunt Barbara there and stuff, and just get the fuck up,
right?
Rub on your titties. That's what me and my wife came into. Like we our whole me and my wife really like hip hop and R&B. She's not in the EDM. I do like EDM. She's not really into the rock. I like the rock. So like where we crossed in the Venn diagram was hip hop and R&B, and that's mainly what we played the entire dance set with a handful of little rock things I really wanted. And shout out to Digital Dave, he crushed it. So like we there wasn't a lot of old music. There wasn't like I didn't go into it like, hey, you know, I want a little bit of everybody. I want everybody to have a good time. Like I kind of focused on like truly what we liked. Now, it sounds like a bad idea.
I'm like, this is coming from a wedding DJ. Like, this is maybe terrible advice, but God, I want to hear you.
Sounds like a bad idea.
Okay.
The reason why it works is when you build the wedding around your personal taste, first of all, everyone you have at the wedding, all right, you know, unless you're inviting people to be polite or whatever, but everybody that you have at your wedding knows you.
Your expectations
knows you,
too.
knows what you like, knows what you're about, knows little things, whatever. So like they're not going to go to your wedding and you have all your favorite music and they're going to be like, that's weird. Like,
absurd.
You know what I mean? That's
right.
weird. Like, why are they playing this? No, they're going to be like, oh, makes sense. It's their favorite music. And when you vibe, your vibe is contagious. And then they're vibing, they're celebrating you. So like, it fits in with the theme. The theme is you. You're getting married. So like the theme, everything, the music should
be about you
too. Not like the one song your aunt, like, you know what I mean? I don't, it's not like I don't disagree with that stuff. Like you obviously do this, like, everything works, but like, there's nothing like, and I've had a handful of weddings like this where the couple's like, no, like we're trained, like we are doing, this is what we love. We're
nothing pre-2000s. And I'm like, ooh.
I did a wedding last winter and it was this couple, they were really into Zed's Dead. You ever hear them?
Yeah.
Right. And it's like a EDM kind of wompy and they liked all the wonky stuff or whatever. And they like kind of leaned into that. And there's a handful of other stuff they did like, but like it was a lot of that. And I was like, all right. So I prepped my ass off for the set and it was one of my favorite weddings ever. It was so fun. They all raged. And like, it's like a herd mentality. When you have a majority of people in the room like vibing to something, even if you don't know what that is, you're just going to kind of like join in and vibe with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it really works. Like everyone stayed at my wedding. Everyone danced all night. It was a blast. And they were more just having a great time watching us have a good time too. Like, oh my God, like clearly this is his favorite song. Like, you know what I mean? Like it just works. And
right.
I use that with DJing too. Like if I have like more free reign, then like I'm looking at like what are the majorities here? Like if it's more older people, I'll lean that way because I know the younger people will join in with them because they're outnumbered and vice versa. If it's more younger people, I'm going to lean in that way and not play a lot of old stuff. And you know, you're always going to have the one, you know, Karen, but like the most of them will just go with their vibe because like, you know, we're outnumbered, they're having fun, let's just have fun, we're here to have a good time. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like going out of my way to play old stuff when the crowd's 90% young. You know what I mean? Like
sure.
That the herd stuff really works. It's like a psychology thing. It's crazy that you'll be surprised at what grandma will dance to, you know, literally Mo Bamba. And she's like, all right, I got ho.
I love it. So question, your wedding, going back to the demographics, was it a mix? Is it friends and family, older and younger? Just going back to you cater specifically to you and your crowd, but was it more friends and family, or was it split 50-50, if you will?
No, my wife and I have small families.
Okay,
Real
same,
small families.
same here.
So like it might have been, we only had like 125 people.
Okay.
It might have been 30 family members and the rest friends, maybe 35, 40, and it was the rest friends. So yeah, so we kind of just leaned into.
So I have a question for you in your final meetings when we're talking music. Do you want a small sample? Do you want a large sample? Do you have a bread and butter number of must plays for your couple? As far as like you getting the pick. So in my consults, I'm always like, what's the last hour vibe? This should strictly be about you and your people and your crowd.
Yeah.
You know who's leaving early, you know who's drunk on the dance floor. Like, what is that for you? And I at least try to make that specific for the last hour. And some people give us 10 songs. Some people give us 18 hours worth of music.
Mm-hmm.
So do you have a preference?
I would say my preference is the more the better, because if like obviously I've been to, I probably DJ 1,500 weddings, like I can run with it, right? And I don't pressure my couples either way. But if they give me nothing or 2 songs, I got to shoot darts now. I got to shoot darts during dinner, see what people are reacting to. I do anyway, but like I really have to shoot darts. And then like, sometimes I get it right away. Sometimes like I try this, it doesn't work. Try this, doesn't work. And then I go here, oh, that's what you fuckers like. And then I roll and then everything's fine.
Sure.
But I got to shoot darts. You know what I mean? And I try and ask them everything, but some couples it's just like, no, you can't get nothing out of them. You can't milk us.
We saw you at 2 weddings. We read some reviews. Do your thing.
And so then it's just a little, so like I have less, you know what I mean, to go by, and it's just that aspect. But I mean, either way works. But I like having big playlists. I like going through it because that's where I can really cook. Like if they give me a big playlist, obviously I'm like, listen, is there any must plays no matter what? I obviously separate that, so I can definitely play those. But I'll play the majority of whatever playlist, and I'll cherry pick through it. And then like I can't tell you how many times I found a song on their playlist that I forgot about that I add to my own crates. That I was like, oh, this was a banger, holy shit! I've discovered new music within couples playlists, and also a lot of my ideas come from couples playlists. So like as I'm going through, I'm like, all right, she really likes like Hannah Montana. How am I going to play this? I got to figure out a wordplay with this, and then I figure out a wordplay, and I would have never tried to wordplay Hannah Montana unless I had a reason to that Saturday, So like so many of my ideas have come just from going through their lists and like them putting all that in, and it's literally made me a better DJ overall. So I love the lists. Like I don't mind at all.
I like it. I feel like as I don't want to say get older, but more advanced, if you will, or get into this, 10 years ago, I feel like I wanted 10 songs. And now, to exactly what you just said, I feel like the more... I also try to be honest and say, listen, like, do I have free range? You can give me 300 songs, but I want to know that we have this final talk. And the night of, we thought that Motown set was going to pop for everybody, and it didn't. Are you cool for the pivot to the next? Then, whatnot. And most of them are usually cool with that stuff.
Yeah. One question I always ask is... I'll look at their playlist and I'll say, all right, how do you want me to handle throwbacks? How do you want me to handle the older music? Do you want to, there's 2 ways to do it. And I always leave it up to the couples, right? Do you want to front load the older music and play it early on? And then later on, especially last hour, everything is just going to be like kind of your stuff. Or do you want me to sprinkle it in throughout the night? Do you want to be open format throughout the entire night? And that really tells me a lot of how I want to handle it. Like my wedding tomorrow, they want it sprinkled in. So that means that it's not out of the ordinary for me to play disco that last half hour, like maybe just one song in there. And both ways are really fun to DJ, and I like handling it both ways. But like, it really gives you perspective, because I always ask that too. You have to understand, some couples want the old people to leave.
I was literally letting you finish to say that exact thing. Like once that hip hop comes in, they're like, we're out of here. We're done with this shit. So that's so true.
You know what I mean? So like they want the stuff front loaded, and if you didn't know that and you play something older later, they're going to be like, no, chill, keep it new or whatever. Like, we don't want, some couples really want that. They want the older people to leave, and then they're going to, the debauchery happens after that. Some couples truly want everybody to have a good time all night. They want everybody to stay as long as they want, whatever. And then I play it a certain way. You know what I mean? Like, because you can't really have both. You got to play it a certain way. And that I always ask that question.
And you want to know that going in.
Yeah, I think some DJs default to just playing the old stuff early, and then that's it. No, we'll play the old stuff early, and then later on, once the alcohol kicks in, we'll get the... No. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, the older shit works crazy later, too. Maybe that's what they want, you know what I mean? So, because what if they wanted everybody to stay and then all the old people left because you played it that way, You
Right.
can't assume. in my opinion.
No, it's great. It's a great point. And to be honest, I definitely think more than less front load. But I like your
Correct.
thought process of, but like you said, it's all about the preparation of knowing that you're going to mix this throughout the night and not just front load is also massive going into it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious your thoughts and opinions about this. And again, from a bride's perspective, being in the business, 1,500-ish weddings, you just said, what do you think sets apart an average DJ? Let me rephrase, an average wedding DJ versus a great wedding DJ.
Preparation, for sure. I mean, this whole job in general is 80% preparation, 20% execution. I mean, there's a lot of things in our job where, it takes no talent to say a name right or get the song right or whatever, the formalities and all that, like that's really all preparation. But that's kind of the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I would say really what sets, when it comes to the wedding game is it's how you mix. I think the biggest advantage you can have in the wedding game is being able to really mix well and mix on, play the best parts of every song, like, be very proficient at quick mixing and be able to really like ride the wave and ride the BPMs and consistently change BPMs, like go around the circle and change the genres and like, you know what I mean? Like that it's very difficult to do and it constantly evolves. And like, I think that's the one thing, if you can do that correctly, like really well, it sets you apart from like every other, like most wedding DJs are proficient at mixing or worse. Just they get the job done or worse, not like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? And like, that's where, because a lot of people are very more dialed in. We have the internet, we have everything. Like people are more dialed in. Like years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, no one ever asked me, do you play the whole song? Do you mix songs together or whatever? It was only the last 5-8 years I started getting those questions. They're like, whoa.
So true.
You know what I mean? And like now they're dialed in. So that's the way you can really, like I think focusing on, obviously you had to do everything good, but like just if you're a good mixer, you'll make it,
This goes back to what we said in the beginning of the pod, like them club DJs that came in to the wedding scene 5-10 years ago or essentially post-COVID, I feel like raised the bar for wedding DJs for the mixing aspect. And again, like I said, I've always been the MC at heart and like, all my guys are better than me at mixing and I don't ever deny that, but like what it was 10 years ago for today as far as the mixing aspect. And you said nail on head too, quick mixing and how long are you playing a song? And these are all questions that pre-COVID you never got asked before. Mm-hmm. I love when a couple is trying to describe something to me and they're like, they don't even know how to say like quick mixing. Yeah. And they're like, it's probably my favorite question in a consult, what's the last hour? What's that vibe? And like, I love when a girl's like frat basement. I was like, yes. Yeah. But my favorite is when they're like, are you familiar with, and they're like not sure if they want to say it. They're like, are you familiar with the big booty mix? And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, is this the vibe? They're like, yes. And I'm like, those are okay. I'm like, I know exactly where you're at now. Like, that's all you had to say. Yeah. And now sometimes I flip it and they're describing it and I'm like, I hope this doesn't sound weird, but I'm like, are you familiar with the big booty mix? And I'm like, yes. But yeah, I really like your the conversation about the front loading is just something, it's like something I want to kind of keep in mind more as far as like people's vibes. I do think you hit the nail on the head that like sometimes they want to make it real clear though that like your time is over, Aunt Karen, and like we are going strong and this is not about you. And and again, sometimes I also tell people like front load, even dinner cocktail, like if you are appeasing mom and aunts and people, do it cocktail, do it. Like you don't hear that stuff. You're saying hi. There's so much going on. Yeah. So like, but like kind of keeping involved. The disco thing's kind of coming back too, where I feel like people are doing that more late night, which is just again different, and I'm kind of here for it.
You can't assume the family dynamic. The same thing goes for after party announcements. You cannot announce an after party unless the couple says to announce the after party.
Right.
Sometimes the venue will come up, hey, there's after party. Make sure you better ask them first.
Right.
What if they don't want that aunt there? Right. What if they don't want to do? Maybe it's just low key. Maybe they're going to like wild out at the after party, or maybe they're just tired of like they hate their one side of the family or whatever. You don't know the dynamic. You can't assume. So like
no surprises.
Yeah.
Or no unnecessary. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, I like it. So going back to what we're talking about, the mixing, this kind of brings me into my next thing. Where are you at? I'm trying to think, and I watch a lot of your stuff, but like scratching at weddings, and I always feel like that's kind of a conversation. And a lot of I look at Facebook like bride groups and see stuff like, and again, quick mixing or like how much is scratching, too much, too little. Just where are your thoughts and how much would you say you're doing it?
Jazzy Jeff says it best. It's your seasoning. It's just a little seasoning. You can, I think there's levels, obviously you want to have good tasting scratching. It's just like anything else, you want to have like, some people have the funk and some people don't. You want to be able to kind of like squeeze it in there so it's rhythmic and it kind of like just adds a nice little thing to it, but it's not like overboard.
Overkill.
What I wouldn't do at a wedding that I've rarely done unless couples have literally asked me to like scratch a lot or whatever is like, I'm not going to do like an 8-bar, 16-bar, just long crab or like flares or anything like something like where it's like more of like a performance set, because I don't want to make it about myself. Like when I scratch, I might just like, it might be as simple as just babying a song in, or it might be as simple as just like, transforming a lyric out or something as I'm mixing or whatever. It's very quick and just purposeful and just sprinkled in here and there just to add a little bit of just a little taste of it. Nothing look at me. It's just, you got to have the right balance when you do it. And you also, you got to be able to look yourself in the mirror and say, can I do this live? Am I good yet? You know what I mean? Like bedroom and live is two different things. Like the craziest thing is when I was learning how to scratch and you sit there and you learn how to chirp over and over again, I would just like stare at Delcy driving violin. Like there's a window right there and I'm just like, come on, motherfucker. And then finally I got it. I was like, oh, wait. Yeah. It's clicking. I'm getting it, right? I go and try it and like my arms just go blubber and I can't even do it, right? You need to be able to do it like blackout drunk and then you can do it live, like without even thinking. Like it just takes so much practice. So you have to really know where you're at too. Like some DJs force scratching when they're not ready to scratch yet because they think, oh, it's a cool thing to do. And I think I sound good. No, record yourself and let's do it back. All right. Do you sound like the Scratch Bastards and the Jazzy Jeffs? Do you sound like that or no? Just be honest with yourself. It takes some time. And if it's not, you don't need scratching. Nobody needs to scratch. It is not necessary. It's not like you're going to have a bad event because you didn't scratch. Of course not. I like it. It's fun. You sprinkle it in. You got to have a balance, and that's it. You know what I mean?
What did you say Jazzy Jeff calls it? Spice?
Seasoning.
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 I like the seasoning.
You know what I mean? Like nobody likes, chicken without salt and pepper. I don't know. Garlic powder.
I want to go back to something you said because it just popped in my head. You mentioned about like emptying the clip and not holding anything back or like the word plays, if you will.
Yeah.
And my question is, as far as trends go, is there anything that you purposely, let me rephrase, are you, Santi? Say it right?
Santi, yeah.
Is he recording like at all times? Like I know you said you have cameras and stuff, but like are you like, yo, I'm doing something here, get this? Or is it just rolling the whole time kind of thing?
It depends. Never the whole time. He's camera in hand, you know what I mean? But it might be like, hey, record this whole set. I got a lot of stuff that we might be able to get something because I got a lot of stuff like planned for the set. Or it might be like, hey, here's this one idea I have. Like, I want to get this one idea for sure. Can you come, like, turn the camera on right now? We always have it ready. It just depends on the situation. It's very difficult recording live sets at weddings because, like, in most cases, it's really, like, the crowd doesn't translate to what it is in real life. There's something about getting it on camera, and then you watch it back. I was like, it was lit then. Like, was it in my head? Like, and it doesn't look as lit, or, like, you didn't get the right reaction, or I messed up this one little thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's difficult. So, like, we try and, I don't know, it depends on the situation.
One of our guys, shout out to St. James, he records his whole sets, has a camera up for 2 hours, and he puts it on YouTube. But like, same thing. Sometimes I watch him back, and I'm just like in the videos I watched on IG that weekend, it looked straight fire.
Yeah.
And then I watch like a glimpse, scour through it 2 hours, and it just doesn't look the same as it did. Or especially if I did the wedding with him, it just doesn't look the same sometimes. So it definitely looks like watered down.
It's funny you say that, though. I'm actually switching what I'm doing. I'm adding a new thing starting tomorrow, my wedding tomorrow. I'm adding a new thing to my workflow that I'm going to do consistently. I'm going to do it for a year. I told myself I'm going to do this for a year. I got a little camera set up, like a little like action cams, like not GoPros, but what other ones. And I have a little case with it, everything, like different things. I'm going to record videotape. This is going to be for TikToks or Instagram. We're still going to have camera in hand for that, like a legit whatever. But I'm going to record full length, uncut, every set I do for a year. Whether it's at a club, I'm at Penn State at the Basement Club. Yeah, so I'm there that Saturday. I'm recording that whole set. You know what I mean? My whole set tomorrow. And basically what I did was I made a YouTube membership. So like if you become a YouTube member, you'll have access to members only videos, and I'm going to post every set I do as a members only video. And then what I'm going to do is like, if it's like a crazy set or super unique or something, then I'll post that one to the public. Right. You know what I mean? If I think it's like a cool, but generally speaking, I'm putting every single set I do for an entire year, like on YouTube. And I think number one, It's going to be very valuable for DJs because if I bomb, if I bomb something, if I play something that doesn't work, you see my dance floor go off, you can watch that back and kind of identify, oh, he did this and this. On the other side, if I play certain things, if I play a song that goes crazy, wow, I never thought to play that. That went crazy. I'm going to try that at my wedding, right? You're able to almost like be next to me and like, and grow with me, like learn from my mistakes, but also learn from my successes too, or whatever works and doesn't work, and then, yeah, I mean, I just think it'll be just valuable in general. I'm keeping it's kind of like a little legacy thing too. So I'm gonna have a whole year of my sets, and it's also gonna force me to be more unique and not I don't want to like have the same set as I did last week. You know what I mean? Lean on that September to open. I want to
No.
and so it's I'm posting this on YouTube. All these DJs will flame me if I open September again. I'm gonna try open with this, and I'm gonna go from there. You know what I mean? And
It's literally holding yourself accountable.
Yeah.
For
that's
a year. It's awesome.
Yeah. So that's like my whole thing. I'm recording tomorrow. I already set everything up. It's all there on YouTube. But I'm recording this weekend. That's going up, and I'm gonna pile live sets on that thing, and then
I love it. I brought it up because every once in a while, someone will bring us. Now, this could be any part of the wedding. This could be a TikTok that they saw about the ceremony that they want to incorporate. But there's nothing I hate personally, and I love that we're sitting here talking to you about it, is when someone sends us a video of yours and say, this is what I want you to incorporate at the wedding. And there's one recently that we've done that I can specifically remember talking about.
Yeah.
And it was ending the night, and it's...
When I did the fake ending?
But what's the semisonic into, and it's not even like a wordplay.
The fake ending? No, it's not a wordplay at all.
And it's Mr. Brightside, I want to say.
We went into Mr. Brightside. Yeah,
we're not fucking leaving.
We're not fucking leaving from
the whole
from the Wolf of Wall
Street. Yes, and I'm just like,
yeah.
And I'm in my head, I'm like, I don't want anyone to record any video or some. And again, whether it was you or anyone else, I'm always like, would this guy be like, damn, they're using our shit? And it's, let alone like, what if it blows up on something where I'm always like, I never want us to have using other people's stuff. But I guess the wordplay game's too easy for people to be.
Everybody's worried about listen, I've posted a few hundred of these at this point. I don't know, 300, 400. I've only had one single time anybody hit me up and say, hey, listen, can you take that down? One single time. And I've always had crowd. You could see everything. I've had videos where, the whole video is just flaming someone in the thing, or like, the people like in the crowd are actually getting flamed all in the comments, like
right.
Even that, only one single time. And it was valid too, because so I was doing a wedding at the Lang City Country Club, and I dropped, I don't know, something. And when I dropped it, this girl in front of me, like this lady in front of me was like really drunk. And she was like, oh, yeah. I, like, loved the song, but, like, mad drunk. She was right there, and we got her on camera.
And she just got crushed in comments?
And, so I posted it, and I learned a lesson, right? Because when I was watching it back, I was 50-50 on it. I even showed my wife. She's, like, my PR. I was like, what should I do here? She's like, I don't know. Because I'm like, she looks really drunk. Like, it's not a good look for this one wedding guest, right? But against my better judgment, I'm like, you know what? I'll post it, I think. And it started going crazy, right? And it wasn't. 2 hours later, literally 2 hours later, the bride hit me up. Hey, just so you know, my friend is in that video. She's really drunk and she's a teacher. And that's fair. And it was very like valid. Like, you know what I mean? Like you could see it all over. And I was like, no problem. And I took it down. Beyond that, never one single video. No one, like worst case scenario, you have one video and then they say, oh, you know what? Like someone's in witness protection program or I'm not, then they take it down. We have a thing on our form. So when couples fill out their forms and they put in their first dance, somewhere on that form it says, hey, are you down with us recording a video blog? Are you down with us videotaping at our weddings, at your wedding? And then when I'm in the meeting too, hey, and is it cool if I get TikToks and stuff at your wedding or I record a whole set? Like, are you cool with that? Or if not, just totally let me know, but like whatever. And they always say
99 out of 100.
And if every once in a while you get no, okay, cool, no problem. And then you just don't do it. And it's that easy. You never have a problem. And like I said, worst case, I mean, what are they going to send you? Cease and desist? They're going to email you and you take it down and you lose that video. You know what I mean? Like, don't, DJs, if you're watching this, don't let that hold you back from putting out content. So many DJs say, how you get away with it? The legalities are good at, no. What do you mean? You act like I'm printing money in my basement. I'm just posting a video from a wedding I'm at. Just have a question on your form, ask your couple, and that's it. And keep it pushing. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. It's just an excuse because you're scared. You're scared.
Content is king.
That's right.
That's why we're here, right?
That's right. It's the only way to get booked nowadays. It's different.
So let me ask you an off-the-wall question. We have a celebrity list of weddings we've done. Have you got any high profiles that you're willing to share?
Nothing like A-list yet, unfortunately. The problem, I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. I would love to do celebrity weddings. It's like a dream of mine. I've done a lot of pro athletes,
Okay.
Flyers players.
I mean,
I did Khalif Raymond. He's the wide receiver of the Lions. I did you know what I mean. You get stuff like that, but like I never a list on my end. Unfortunately, not yet.
so it's like, does everybody just think like, oh, I want to do Travis and why can't I think of her name?
Taylor.
Thank you, Jesus Christ. Yeah, Travis and Taylor, and it's like, damn, who's doing that? You figure that's probably like a $200,000 band or something, but maybe not.
So I'm not.
Did you? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Did you hear the story about them booking their date?
No.
So they booked a date somewhere. I want to say Rhode Island next June, and whatever date they wanted, someone had. So apparently Taylor said, "I'm going to pay for your whole wedding to move their date." And obviously they did.
That's lit,
right? I'm like, how do we get that couple on? I want to talk about how they got that phone call, but like,
yeah, well, it's probably her agent,
PRs from here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of wild that wherever they booked, someone was already booked, and they were like, yeah, here's a check, you're going to move your date, and apparently they picked some date next June up in Rhode Island.
Yeah,
it's kind of wild though.
Yeah, the high-end market's crazy. I will say that, like, any of the athlete ones I've done or whatever, I mean, the same thing. You walk in, it's like all you do is see
flowers.
So I did Shane Gostisbehere's wedding. He's not with the Flyers anymore. He was I think he went to Arizona or something like that. He's a hockey player. Anyway, I had no idea who this guy was. Okay. I don't really ask a lot about like what you do for a living. I kind of should, I guess. It is kind of relevant in a certain aspects.
Comes up and sometimes, really?
But it just doesn't come up, whatever. So I had meetings with them, whatever. They're just they're just one of my couples.
Sure.
Anyway, I get to this wedding, and there's like signs, right? I get to the wedding, and there's got to be $100,000 worth of flowers. I was like, oh man, they got money like that. Oh God, 'cause there's just flowers hanging from the rafters and just
everywhere.
Just obnoxious amounts. It's it's foliage everywhere, right? So I'm like, all right, and then like I'm at the ceremony, and the groomsmen go up, and then like someone laughed, and they all started like laughing. Like someone made a joke, and they all started laughing, and half of them didn't have teeth, and I'm like, $100,000 worth of flowers, no teeth with the groomsmen. Something's not adding up here. And I was like, I asked like one of the staff. I was just like, hey, like they're a pretty wild group, huh? She's like, yeah, don't you know? Like the groom plays for the Flyers. And that's how I found out. I was like, holy shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like out of nowhere. Like, but the weddings itself are like always kind of the same. They just party, and you just got to play the hits and do what they want. And you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing like, I don't know. I don't have any stories of where like it was just like hard to handle. They're actually really laid back and just chill, and they just want to have a good time. I mean, you always have like the professional athlete weddings. You always have like at least one table full of single women clearly trying to land an athlete. It's hilarious. They're all sitting around there. They're done up to the gods, and they're just like eyeing up a pro athlete. Like that's like, oh, gotta land one. Like
that's awesome.
Like,
no, it makes.
I don't know how politically correct that is, but
I mean,
it's true. It's fucking true. There's always at least one.
That's awesome.
If not 2, 3.
Do you do a lot of destination or travel weddings?
I do a handful. I don't know. It just depends. I mean, I'm very spread out because of like online. So like, you know what I mean? Like I do a good amount, obviously still in Jersey and PA, but then like I have so many outside of the realms,
More than, is it 50-50?
It's probably 50-50.
Like Jersey, PA versus traveling somewhere?
Yeah, I would say like 50% of my weddings are like at least 3 hours away. Like, you know what I mean? 2-3 hours away. Or like I did a wedding in Colorado, Cabo.
I remember seeing
those in Georgia.
That one. Did you say that was like a killer vibe? Their set list or something. I remember you posting something.
That was that one.
Yeah,
because they like that like Southern hip hop,
right?
And they're
Southern hip hop,
and
right.
they like, and it worked. Like the stuff I played there would never go off here. Like, so it was just such a unique thing, and I love all that Southern hip hop. So like, I had a literal blast at that wedding. I'm playing like deep Yin Yang Twins and stuff. Like, it was a good time.
I definitely see. I think that's cool too. Just as like different cultures, different areas. We said. I started telling you, off the pod about going to Rhode Island, and I'm like, is it just the same? Is it any different? And we've done some destination weddings, but that's people going to Philly and getting married in Mexico. It's not the same as doing something in Colorado or New Orleans, if you will. So,
and it's where they're coming from too. A lot of destination, like Cabo, like obviously no one was like, it wasn't
right.
They were coming from, right. So it just depends where you're at. There is differences though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think like wherever you're at, like where people are from or where you're doing a wedding, like it whatever closest city they grew up next to, like that's kind of like determines like a lot of what I do. Like if they're from Central or North Jersey and their closest city is NYC, it's way different than they're from South Jersey or outside of Philly and their Philly's their city. Same thing, Baltimore or Washington D.C. or it's just there's always like a different thing. You know what I mean? Like Washington D.C. you get away with like all this go-go stuff, and then you go up to New York City and there's certain not even New York City. I mean like outside of that in that realm, there's all these like unique house, like there's like certain house tracks and stuff that won't work at all down south that work up there that you do, and I don't know, you just kind of
Makes sense.
there's overlap, but then there's like a lot of like regional stuff, and it's just interesting. That's what's cool about like traveling a lot too. Like I don't know if I do like I do a lot of weddings outside of the realm, so it's like it's made me a way better DJ over the years. I've learned a lot about music, like just kind of seeing their playlists and like, hey, what made you pick this song? Oh, it's a banger. Da, da, da. No way. And I do some research. I figured out, I'm like, oh yeah. And I like the song. And then like, you know what I mean? I kind of like, I have crates now for different situations like that.
Do you have crates for different areas? As far as, and that's going to bring me into my next question, as far as the beat source, do you have like a South crate, if you will, or like Southern, like obviously the Georgia wedding, obviously that might have been a crate in its own, but like, do you have anything that you like are putting together? And this is not a beat source question, but I'm going there as far as like, do you have any crates for like different parts of this country if you're doing multiple, or it's not like that deep?
I don't have it named as a part of a country. I have it kind of more genre based.
That's fair.
But like your crates have to make sense to you. So like it just makes sense to me. Like it doesn't like I look at a certain name of crate and I'm like, oh yeah, I know this crate will work great in this area, but I don't name them after areas personally,
Tell me about the beat source a little bit, because that's kind of cool. I don't know too much about it, but when you were telling the story as far as what you're going to do for the next year and them being next to you, being there, if you will, I almost feel like it's that much more helpful with the crates as far as like if they have some insight of your experience of what you're doing, making these crates for weddings.
Yeah. So when Beat Source was first, they were just about to launch, about 6 months prior to launch. They needed someone to help with like the wedding. They wanted to have a wedding crate section. And, and then I got recommended and I joined on with them, and I've been with them ever since. So I think I managed 32 crates on there now, 32 playlists where like it's all different kind of like wedding playlists. Which
is that from cool. Cocktail to open format?
It's dinner and dancing.
Okay.
So I have dinner and dancing straight up. Lots of different like cool stuff, and kind of keep them updated like monthly. I made it really more universal, so everyone can kind of understand and see what's in there. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't like I was more universal with that just because like everyone's using those, whereas like my own crates, I have some of that, but then like I might have named another crate different. Like I have like a white girl crate. I have a like, you know what I mean? I have like little things because it has to make sense for you, and
sure.
You know what I mean? So I made it more universal at Beat Source, but
and you know what's in that crate without even looking at what's in white girl crate, right? Probably off the top of your head, there's 3 songs that they're in there. That's
like Hollaback Girl, like Crazy in Love, like stuff like that. Yeah, I got a bunch of different like random crates. It's basically like my crates. Like every time I ran into a situation where like I didn't know a certain lane, or like I got caught my pants down, I made it a point that night. I did research and I figured it out. Like especially being so young, starting with weddings, like I didn't know anything. Like I never forget. Like when I was like 20 years old, someone would come up, hey, play bachata, I'm playing suavemente. Play salsa, I'm playing suavemente. Fucking play cumbia, suavemente. Here it comes. And it's like, oh wait, these are all different things. And then I had a crate for all that, and like, you know what I mean? Or I ended up just developing a crate for everything.
I want to bring something up also that I saw, because I love this guy that I follow, and I started doing some homework on him, and I love his whole story. And when I did some homework on you, I heard you quote him, but I'm a big Pat McAfee guy.
Oh yeah.
And I saw that, and I was just like, so I wanted to mention that we're literally sitting here today because I bought this 2 years ago.
Okay.
I bought these mics 2 years ago, and I kept saying, we're going to do a podcast. We're going to do a podcast. And then one day my guy Keith in the corner was like, we just got to start. We figure it out and we run with this shit. And it's content.
Exactly.
And that's literally Pat McAfee's, essentially story. And I mean, you just got to say the same thing. So I just think that was like an awesome thing. And I'm a big fan of that guy.
Yeah. He's the man.
I also like his, I feel like he has ESPN by the balls, but that's a whole other story because he just does what he wants. And people are like, how does Pat McAfee get, because he's that guy.
He brings 8 million, 10 million viewers. If you bring that much, you do what you want.
My team put together a rapid fire random questions that didn't share. I already know the answer to this one. The first one says vinyl or digital, but you're a vinyl guy, right?
I mean, yeah, I mean, I use Serato
I mean, as far as
for
like
tables.
turntables is what
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
essentially. Yeah, so I kind of already knew that. I feel like you kind of touched this too, but like open format or genre focused. But I mean, we kind of touched on this, but like, do you have a preference?
I yeah, I definitely prefer to be open format. I'm best at open format. With that being said, I've had a handful of times where I had the opportunity to just do one genre, like an hour set, a 45-minute set of house or this, like something specific. And I think it's fun to prep for that and just like and put
And
down.
if you know they're like going ham over it, if you
Yeah, or to be like a house club where like I'm just playing house. That's all they expect. So I'm 128 all night. Like it's just so easy. I can just truly just enjoy myself. Just like you know what I mean. Just like and like kind of I like putting together little crates like that and do like I like the challenge of that. But generally speaking, like I love the open formats where it's at.
yeah, makes sense. Most overrated wedding song. I mean, 27 come to mind with me. If you mean,
I mean, I don't know, any line dance. I hate two dances. I mean, just they can all get thrown in the trash.
coffee or energy drink before the wedding.
Black coffee.
Black coffee.
Black coffee.
Oh, I can't.
I don't do any energy drinks.
Club gig or wedding gig? I mean, I know you're a wedding guy, so that's always first. I guess the easy answer is, do you still do the clubs for the diversity to switch it up? Like, I've been to the basement once, so I know that's a vibe in its own self, if you will. But is it simply like you just still do it for the diversity aspect of obviously you get to play much different things than you play at weddings most days?
Yeah, it's fun. It gives me different sets to do, so like it's just more fun. Like just overall the diversity of it, I like a variety, but then also it keeps me dialed in. So like I'm playing for a bunch of 21-year-olds this Saturday, so yeah, I have to like I'm gonna have another music day from now to then, and like really like I have to prepare, and it gets me. And then clubs are easier. You know, people come to have a good time. Weddings, people come to be polite sometimes. You know, not everyone comes to dance at a wedding. You know, it's so they're easier. So like I can take more risks at a club. It's less pressure, obviously too. I obviously want to have a great night, but like I'll try playing a song I never played before at a club where I wouldn't do that at a wedding
Literally
unless I wanted it. You know what I mean?
Are you gambling a little bit more with some transitions or word plays in them sets? Obviously,
1,000,000%. Or if I have a wordplay I'm working on, I test it out at the club. You know what I mean? And
just
then,
like you said with your at home, you're fine, and then you do it live, and you're
or yeah, but is this going to work? You know, so, like I think it's a great idea, but are they going to react to it? You know what I mean? Like sometimes I have like off the wall shit. And it's just like you know what I mean. So like, the club is my place to do that. The bars are my places to do that. You know, like I just think it's perfect. You know, it's almost like there's a lot of parallel to comedians with us. You know, like DJs. You know, comedians will go on tour with their hour special, then they throw out the hour special, then they go to the little. You'll see Louis C.K. at like a hole in the wall comedian spot or whatever because they're just working out. They're working out stuff. Yeah, the small play, and then once they work it out, then they take it on the road or whatever. You know what I mean? Like me taking it on the road is taking it to a wedding. Essentially, I work out my stuff at the clubs and bars. You know.
All right, so Nick, last but not least, before we end the show, I'm always trying to think, what tips can we give for brides? You got anything on your mind to share with our listeners?
I'm a DJ, so the music aspect, I'll give two big tips. The first tip is you got to dance. If you want everybody to dance,
love it.
You got to dance. When the bride dances, and preferably bride and groom, but like, you know, if one of the person in the couple dances, everyone will dance around you. If you don't dance, it does affect things a little bit. You know what I mean? So if you want to set yourself up for success, like
You got
just
to be on the
go out there, have a good time. Plan on having a good time. Make your timeline around that too, so you can have time to dance. If you're not a dancer, you're not a dancer, but like definitely do it. Number two, glow sticks, foam sticks. Listen, I get it. All right, not everybody's about the props. It's got to fit in your vibe or whatever, but there is a psychological thing with it. Like when you give out foam sticks to a wedding, one of the number one reasons why people don't dance or feel uncomfortable dancing is they don't know what to do with their hands. They don't know what to do with their hands. You give them a foam stick and now they have something to just pass back and forth and just wave around. Instantly, I watch people that didn't dance all night. They get a foam stick and now they feel comfortable out there. And if you have a crowd that you're worried about dancing, or you know they're not really super outgoing type that'll dance sober, they need a few drinks. Sometimes the foam sticks help, and they're not that much money right on Amazon. You know what I mean? I think it looks good in photos too. I mean,
I like it for videos.
You know, I don't hate it.
I think it's great. The people that can't dance that have it is so clutch.
Yeah.
I always think it's definitely a great add-on. I personally love it in video aspects of backgrounds and vibes and stuff. But I like them. Good two good tips from the DJ aspect of things. Yeah, I think that's all we got for today. Nick, I appreciate coming on the show.
Pleasure.
I want to say one more thing. The reason that I thought it was so crazy is, and I might have told you this before we got on, I follow your stuff. You make a post on Instagram one day out of blue, and I read it, and it's like, vendors. What are we not talking about enough in weddings? Send a message. And I'm like, bro, I kid you not. I'm like, Nick Spinelli is literally talking to me right now. Like, he's talking about the entire reason of our show. Like, how do we get him on here? And you started posting some things on there, and I'm like, yes, we talked about this. Oh, this is a great idea. We got to talk about that. Yeah. And like, I got one more for you before we end it. But like, something I love to talk about and I need to get out there more is the sweetheart table location versus the DJ setup. And I think that was something that you posted where like you're there for 15 minutes for some pictures, but like the vibe of where the setup could be for the DJ versus in the corner in front of two tables, but you wanted to get them pretty pictures for 15 minutes.
Your favorite picture from your wedding will never be at the sweetheart table. Never. It's never going to happen. You're going to get your photos back. You might have a nice picture there, but your favorite picture will never be, it'll be on the dance floor. It'll be at the altar. It'll be everywhere else but that sweetheart table. So to sacrifice because you have to understand it affects sound as well. You know what I mean? If we're not right on the dance floor, if we're behind, we're blasting out table 9. Now they have a terrible experience
and they hate us.
Yeah. Or if we're just, it's awkward running sound now because we're shooting the sound from a certain angle. Now we have an echo coming around the room and people get headaches. Like there's so many aspects to that. Like you want the DJ to be front and center, like you hire a DJ that has a nice setup that's not going to look ugly, but like it really does make a difference. And like, I mean, there's some venues that are just set up that way too. It's the venue's fault too. There's a lot of venues out there that kind of push a certain way to set up, and they're just wrong. Like I have more beef with venue specific than any other vendor in our industry. Like it's a lot of the toxic shit that happens. It all traced back to the venue.
And I always try to tell them, like in that final meeting a month before, if you tell them I want my DJ here, they're never telling you no. But if you come in day of and we suggest, the bride said no, they're going to do it their way, how they want, and that's just they're sticklers about it. So it's something I like try to bring up multiple times on here that like hopefully lands the plane to people to just, it's so important. And I love that you said your favorite picture of the day is never going to be sitting at that sweetheart table.
It's never happened once in history.
Yeah, no, you're so right.
Here, 2 more with venues though.
Sure,
when you're booking your venue, always ask, is there a decibel limit? Is there any type of sound ordinance that I should be aware of? Some venues have terrible ones, and of course not going to tell you when they're selling you. No, it's great. Everything's great. And then all of a sudden your DJ shows up and I can't go over 80 decibels and
it's like a clap.
Literally, it's like a conversation. You don't know until it's too late. They're obviously not going to tell you up front. And the same thing with acoustics in a venue too. Make it a point. Go out to the center of your dance floor and give it a clap. Listen to the acoustics of the room. It doesn't have to be absolute perfect acoustics, but there is some extremes. There are some venues that have the worst echoes you can imagine. And it's very, very it hurts your ear. Like guests have headaches and they don't understand why. You know what I mean? Like you might not even, some people notice it and realize like, wow, it's a terrible echo. I hate it. And then you can't unsee it, can't unhear it. Yeah. Other ones don't notice it at all. It's just subtle, but like they end up getting headaches or they end up leaving. It just, no matter what volume you play it out, it sounds loud. You know what I mean? Guests in the back can't hear your speeches. Like the back tables can't hear the speeches at all.
And we look like shit in that aspect.
Yeah, and of course we look like shit, but I'm all about the success of the wedding, and it's harder. It just makes it harder, and it's just because these venues are too cheap to put up foam pads, put up curtains, something, anything. It's like hard, and if you're not familiar with acoustics out there, it's like hard floors, hard everything. You need carpet. You need something to absorb. Wood absorbs it, so barns sound good. Just you need something to absorb it there, and not every venue has.
And most people don't know this stuff to even look for this stuff when they're looking at their venue. So it's another great point.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, appreciate you coming on. A man that knows his weddings, that's been through it all, seen it all. Appreciate some of your intake today. Thanks for coming on the show, my guy.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate it. That's a wrap, guys.